Previously on Balls.
On Gears, it's Balls Visual Radio. Let's turn our attention to the world of Formula One and other motorsports as well. And starting off, that Toto Wolff from Mercedes admits that Ross Brawn will be missed. Now, Ross Brawn, there was so much speculation. Was he going to join McLaren? Will he join Honda? Ross Brawn has come out and said, no, I am officially retiring. I'm going fishing again. Because that's what he did when he left Ferrari. Well, I tell you, I know he's going to be incredibly missed. But one thing, and lest we not forget this, and let us not forget this, the car that Mercedes have right now, which seems to have a little bit of an edge, according to Mr. Niki Lauda, after the first test in Jerez, is a Ross Brawn creation. So whatever happens, let's not forget, Ross Brawn is incredibly instrumental with this current Mercedes MW05, which I think is going to be very, very competitive this year. Ross Brawn, a true legend, and I think one of these days before the season starts, we'll dedicate a whole report just to what Ross Brawn has done in the world of Formula One. TV audiences for Formula One apparently dropped in 2012, and it's been blamed on Sebastian Vettel's domination. Wow. Its data shows that, this is terrible, Daisy. There were only 450 million viewers worldwide of Formula One last year. And let's compare that to, for example, like the really big sports of South Africa, Premier League football. It's about 400,000. Rugby is about 1 million and a bit. And Formula One's only got 450 million. Anyway, they're saying that it's all because there's too much domination, etc., etc. And Bernie Ecclestone also reckoned that 2014 would help rekindle interest in Formula One with the arrival of the new turbo engines set to deliver more exciting racing. The amazing thing is Bernie Ecclestone also came out and said, he thinks all of this V6 stuff is rubbish. And you go, Bernie, everyone agreed to this 5 years ago. 5 years ago, everyone agreed that in 2014 we were going to 1600 V6 engines. Let's deal with it. Let's live with it. We might not have to live with the look of them. And as I said last week, I'm just concerned that we're going into an endurance formula as opposed to flat-out racing. So, sorry, Sebastian Vettel, you are to blame why people stopped watching. Now, Danny Ricciardo, here's an interesting young character. He's taken the place of Mark Webber at Red Bull. Now, he hasn't yet been on the podium and he hasn't won a race since he's joined the likes of Formula One, yet he's come out with some incredible statements saying that he's not concerned at all about the early head start Mercedes appears to have. Seems to have made in the preseason testing. Now, he insists that Mercedes' early form does not worry his team because no one has shown their full potential so far. Well, Dan, you haven't shown any potential so far because you've only done about 5 laps. So why not just keep quiet for a while until you actually go and do some laps? Very important news that's come out from Chief Executive of Marussia. His name is Graham Loden. And he said F1 must make sure it retains its magic for fans and sponsors at Grand Prix. Now, there is some concern that F1 will lose some of its audio impact because the sound of the V8 is louder than the sound of these new V6 turbo engines. I think they're still going to sound magnificent. And I'll tell you why. Because at the test in Jerez last week, a lot of people said, they sound actually very nice. And they weren't even running at maximum RPM. So I think we shouldn't be too concerned about them. My biggest concern is, as I've always said, 100 liters of fuel now to go and drive around a circuit. And, we can't go too fast. And then we can go fast because we have to preserve fuel. Doesn't make any sense to me. And I'll put it this way, Daisy. What's the point of having a Formula One car with 100 liters of fuel to go and race on the Sunday, but you've got 11 trucks with 16,000 liters of diesel bringing them to the circuit? Where are you conserving fuel? Doesn't make any sense. All right, so let's be aware of that. other things that are going on in the world of Formula One. More from Bernie Ecclestone. He says the new double points rule is being implemented because Ferrari failed to challenge Red Bull. What? What about all the other teams, Bernie? No. Bernie says that's it. It's because Ferrari's failure to stop Red Bull this season of Formula One will award double points at the final race in Abu Dhabi.
That makes no...
I don't know. Apparently, Bernie Ecclestone had a conversation with Ferrari president Luca de Montezemolo, and he said, De Montezemolo was talking about it, and I said, it's very simple why we got to that rule. It is because you aren't performing. If you were doing what you should be doing, there wouldn't be any need for this. And he said, I know. Anyway. Well, there we go. Ferrari definitely getting a little bit of a hurry up from Mr. Bernie Ecclestone, never mind from Luca de Montezemolo. We've mentioned Ross Brawn, that he's going fishing, and I think that's going to be quite extraordinary for him as well. Turning a little bit away from the world of Formula One, Marc Marquez topped the first day of 2014 MotoGP testing at Sepang yesterday. He was half a second quicker than Valentino Rossi, and then the normal protagonists, Dani Pedrosa and Jorge Lorenzo, was there as well. They're currently testing again today in Sepang in Malaysia, and Marc Marquez is currently topping that as well. That's a look at the world of Formula One this afternoon. Of course, we will have a lot more of it tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow because we won't be here, but on Friday. And then, of course, we'll be waiting patiently for the second round of testing that will take place in Bahrain. But that's still about 10 days.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.
Beautiful.
Gears with Sasha Martinengo on bulls.co.za.